And we're live. And you know what? We're not also live. We're also fashionably late as usual. Is this a record this week? 7 minutes. When I say a record, I mean a record that we've actually started earlier than we normally do. Welcome to the Tesla Talks podcast, folks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. We have a special guest here tonight. Before I go on to anything else, I'm so excited to introduce him. His name is Massimo. Massimo, you might have heard of him. We call him Moss. We've talked about him on the show before. He has this garage little thing, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I just want to welcome him to the show. Welcome, Moss. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Dak. Hey, Franklin.
No problem. Hey. And as we all know, Franklin, aka Mother Frunker, is joining us today too. We've missed you for the past few weeks, buddy. Nice to see you back. And healthy and well and everything like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And thanks for being on the show. And I see you brought your Cybertruck, your exclusive one and only Cybertruck.
Yep, always with me.
Always with you.
I'm very obsessed with this vehicle. So.
I don't blame you. Thanks for everyone watching in the chat. If you have any questions, Mark, I know you have a question. Thanks. Mark's like a staple guy. He's either on the show or always joining us. So I know you got a question. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But
we got to bring him on one week too.
Yes.
I told him that. He's a good guy. So.
Yeah, we do for sure. And I see Tesla Milton, Anthony, once again. He's been on the show before. And he's a big shout out there to Moss. Folks, I've said this so many times. I will continue to say it because, if it's one of the things, if you're watching, you know that you can also listen. You don't have to watch. I've always said watching is always a little bit better because we're interactive. We pull up pages and screens and pictures and slides and stuff like that, and we get interactive with it. But if you can't, I totally understand. But you can listen to us on the audio podcast, either on TuneIn Radio in your car, or if you're out and about, you can get us on also TuneIn, obviously, on your smartphone, or Apple Podcasts for all you Apple fanatics. Don't say a word, Franklin. Sorry we missed you last week, folks. We took a little well-needed break, a week off, and we're back. We're back here all fresh and re-energized and stuff like that. I hope you didn't miss us too much. There's a lot of people. There's a Charles Milton. There's a lot of Miltons in the chat room tonight. That's good. It's going to get me all confused with all the Mothers and the Marks and the Miltons. And I don't know. It's just going to get me all confused. But we have some topics. This is exciting times. We're going to get to them in a little bit, but like anyone that's joined us before on these podcasts, whenever we have a special guest on, we like to take a few minutes at the beginning of the show to get to know the person, just to understand their, how they got involved in Tesla and where they're coming from and stuff like that. So you are a special guest tonight, Moss. So can you tell us how you first, and by all means, tell us the short version, the long version, it's up to you. The floor is yours. Tell us how you got involved in Tesla.
Well, it actually starts back when I got my Prius back in 2008. And that's kind of the Prius journey that I had with getting to the whole sustainable, sustainable transportation. So I had my Prius and loved it. Then you kind of want more when you get to know how to use that hybrid engine and use the quote unquote battery, which wasn't much of a battery, but when you're coasting and the engine would turn off would be cool. So the next step is obviously EVs. Now, I couldn't afford a Tesla back in 2015. So the Chevy Volt with a V.
Nice.
I picked up one of those, and then I just thought that was like, wow, this is incredible. I was averaging, it got you the 85 kilometer range that they advertised first. And during the summer months, you get way more, but you just wanted more of that electricity. So the next step would be the Tesla. And I was one of those that did the Tesla stretch. It was a big stretch, but I stretched into a Model S. I had a P85. It was an early VIN, under 7,000, and yeah, it was amazing. And then I had my pre-order in for the 3, and I had to do I sell the S? Do I keep the S? Let go of the 3? And then I'm kind of like with my iPhone. I kind of always want the latest and greatest when it comes to iPhones. Sorry, Franklin. So I decided to trade it because with my 2013 S, there is no autopilot. There's no sensors. It's just you and 0 to 60 in 4.2. So I traded that. I got to the 3, no regrets. I love it. It suits my family fine. And yeah, I mean, I've been a fan for a real long time.
That's awesome.
And yeah.
I didn't
and
know
from my, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and from, if you're following me on Twitter, you obviously know, I guess you can call me a fanboy. I love tweeting about Tesla and showing teaching my children how to plug in cars. I mean, they're not going to know when they drive what an ICE engine is, right?
No.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't think Franklin knows what an ICE engine is.
I had an ICE vehicle before my Tesla.
I'm kidding. Any chance I get to slag you about your age, I will. You know us old guys, right? No, that's interesting. I didn't know, Moss, that you had an S. That's awesome. And you had the original, the OG.
2013, yeah. I picked Lawrence. And it was back when Lawrence was really quiet still. It wasn't as busy now. But yeah, I'll never forget that day.
Oh, yeah. I guess the original Lawrence when they had it like horse and buggy Lawrence.
How old are you?
I'm 47.
Yeah. Hey, we don't have to talk about age just because he may or may not be the same age as me. It makes no difference, Franklin. Just
you
because
know what, Dax?
we may or may not be able to be your father doesn't make any difference.
Dax, I'm in a generous mood. I'll put in a good word to get a charging station at your retirement home, old age home.
That would be. Wait a minute. You know what? We can't be as old. We can. You know what? I'm not going to go there. I was going to say something about Anthony, but I'm not. Poor guy. He's not here to defend himself, so we're not going to go there. And he's listening.
That's not fair.
Yes, it's not fair. He's listening, and I don't want him to leave. He's a true friend. But it would have been an awesome.
You gotta stay big.
I'm still. He's saying I'm still here. Okay.
You gotta stay big.
Stay big.
Yeah.
Big?
Yeah, it's like the Cybertruck.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
You know, folks, anyone that's been listening to our podcast for a little while, you know that Franklin is the king of segues. And without him, this show would be 2.5 hours long every week because somebody here has the gift of gab. So thanks, Franklin, for bringing this in. But Moss, that's an interesting story. I'm glad to know that because we met a few times. I think the first time we met, we met more than a few times, but I think the first time we met was at one of those Model 3 meetups. Yeah, and that's when we first met, and then I started chatting with you online on Twitter and stuff like that, and became good friends. And you have a little side business that you do that's Tesla related, which we're going to get to in a little bit. Let's just get through the news first, and then we're going to get to that because that's exciting news. I want to hear all about that and what you offer and what you do for everyone in the whole community. Okay, so let's just you and Franklin, you guys can just talk amongst yourselves for a second because
I was gonna throw in while you're doing that, Dex. When did I meet you? Like originally, Moss? I feel like we talked online.
Yeah, the first time we met was at one of the meetups. Was it the one where the Ian, the Mad Hungarian, came down?
Yes, that's it.
I think that was the first one.
Yeah. Oh, I also met you at one of the club meets. You were with Anthony that day.
Yes, where he was speaking?
Yeah. When Anthony was speaking, yes.
Yes.
And I knew you from your Twitter profile, but again, it's hard from Twitter profiles to real interaction, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we were trying to put the Twitter name to a face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's always cool to do that, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's great telling other people, like, aren't you worried? Like, no, they're really cool people. Like, right?
Oh
So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
it's always funny.
I'm the one that should be worried. How many people come over to my house to get work done on their car that I've never met? So
Yeah. Well, that just shows
we'll talk about that later,
yeah,
though.
yeah. I was just gonna say that just goes to show your trustworthiness and your dedication to the community. But you're right. We will talk about that later. I finally was able to get this screen sharing thing up. I'm running on a new platform, so I should have tested this before we went live. And at one point, I clicked a couple buttons while you guys were just exchanging your pleasantries there, and it said that I had to quit the browser, and I'm like, no, I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't have been good. So
using Safari?
no, I'm actually using Brave.
Got to be a dig.
Yes. I, it almost went over my head, but I got that jab there, frankly.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I know. Our first topic, now that we're 11 minutes in, people are here for the Tesla news. So our first topic, it's probably probably tied with one of the two biggest, maybe third. I'll tell you what's bigger than this. So we'll go from backwards. We'll go 3, 2, 1 in the biggest news of the week, Tesla-related news. So this one is Elon and the Cybertruck. And what was it, guys? Maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, he brought up some tweet saying that someone had asked him what the changes are going to be like, or revisions, and he said that he was going to change it and make it about 3% overall smaller. And then all the renders came out and stuff like that. And I remember I had that one website where I showed you guys where you could move over the mouse and it changes it. Well, that was for nothing because we're right back to square one.
That was, I believe it was Jason who messaged it, who got the reply.
Was it Jason? Of course it was Jason.
Yeah, of course it was. And I remember at the time, like, every website was there scaling back the Cybertruck to the new proposed size. And then, of course, this week, Elon's like, he mentioned it with Jay Leno, actually.
Yes. Yep.
That he goes, like, he'd have to scale back. I think he said 5%, like, everywhere to make it fit in a normal garage.
Well, yeah, I think that's what he was going for, right?
Yeah, and then he tweets out a couple of days later, he's like, yeah, that's not happening. So,
yeah.
I would love to be a fly on the wall and know, like, between him and Franz, like, how did that discussion go or how that meeting, or any of his meetings in general, but especially that one. It's like, yeah, we're going to do 3% or 5% or whatever the percentage was, somewhere in that ballpark. And then I would love to know why they changed their mind, because I'm going to get your take on it in a second, Moss, but I'm thinking when they first said they're going to change it, I'm like, okay, I can deal with 3%. But now they're saying, no, we're not changing it. It's like, okay, I'll do that too, because it was never going in my garage. What do you think, Moss?
Well, first, if I get one, I don't even have a garage, so it wouldn't matter what size it is. But maybe it's just Elon thinking, why change it just to fit into a garage? I mean, it's even if it's outdoors, it's not like it's going to rust. I know for us here in Canada, we have the weather and everything, but so it doesn't go in the garage. Big deal. I mean, maybe it's more work to shrink it down 5%, 3% more than we think. I mean, he was talking with Jay Leno that, the windshield had to change, shrinking everything. Why shrink it? Just maybe let's just get it out as fast as we can. That's what I think.
Is that what he said on the Leno thing?
He did, yeah. While they're driving, he was talking to Leno about the size is changing. So I think they shot that episode in early 2020 because he's telling Jay that they're changing it, shrinking it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then those tweets came that Franklin was talking about. That nope, it's going to stay the exact same size. So
yeah, that's interesting because you're exactly right. It isn't one of those things that, for me at least, it's not a garage vehicle for me. So I don't care. And it is pretty big. And you know what? I've wrapped my head around that already. The acceptance of it being big. Nerds for Hire in the chat says every inch counts. So yeah,
sure does.
Whether it's 3 inches or 5
he left
inches.
A better comment before. He said Grimes probably told him that size matters. So he wants to make it bigger. Yeah.
Yes, there it is.
So Moss, you do repair, like you do a lot of car service stuff. You're gonna have to expand to garage increasing
garages.
garages.
Yeah, I might need different locations.
Like an expander, a garage expander. No, like to make
Well-
garages bigger for people so they can fit the Cybertruck in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I've never asked you. We never talked about this, Moss. Do you have a order? Are you excited about it? Or are you just waiting to see it?
So I am excited about it. I actually went to Franklin's house and we had that Cybertruck party.
Yep.
I think I was the only one that didn't put an order in, and I still don't have my order in.
Mark also never put in an order up until today.
I was reading your
I
tweet
heard about
earlier.
that too. Yes, like
With FSD.
So this is the reason. So his wife Margarita wants one, and Mark was like on the fence. And when he was at my house picking something up, I told him we were talking about it. Came up in discussion because Cybertruck always comes up in discussion. I told him if you're actually thinking of getting one, put down your money now because you're going to lock in your FSD price, and then if you change your mind when it comes closer to delivery, you can always cancel.
that's
Right.
true. That's true. You spend $150 to save $1,300.
Correct. Yeah. So it's like a win-win situation, right? Is at least the way I saw it. And I was messaging his wife, which is Margarita, is her name, right? So how did I word it? The Cyberita. Did you order the Cyberita? Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's got a good ring.
That's good. That's good. Anyone at home that doesn't know who we're talking about when we say Mark, he's been on our show numerous times. Mark is the backseat baller. That's who we're talking about. And he's going to have some interesting videos if and when he gets the Cybertruck in the back seat. That should be pretty interesting. So, anyways, in a nutshell, long story short, he decided to keep it the same. And does anyone have a problem with that? Any of you guys have a problem with that? Anyone in the chat room?
I'm good with it, with the increase. Because if you think, like, it's supposed to be basically scratch-proof and indestructible. So if you leave it outside, like on a driveway or something, I mean, it's safer than a 3, an S, or an X.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that whole scratch-proof and dent-proof and rust-proof thing.
Bulletproof.
Unbreakable glass. I'm glad it's going to be durable. Let's just say, call it durable. But I'm also at the same time, I'm a little paranoid about this whole thing about people coming up to your car just to test it in a mall parking lot.
Dax, you're not coming to the Sledgehammer
No,
party?
You've made this party that I have no intentions of coming to.
You're coming.
I know.
We're going to bring together all the Cybertrucks, the Sledgehammer that's coming with the Cybertruck. Because they're going to...
Cyberhammer?
The Cyberhammer, yeah.
Cyberhammer?
What's that, Moss?
I was going to say, can I throw the ball bearings at the window?
Yeah, you can throw as many as you want at Dax's Cybertruck.
What?
Why do you think we're having this party, Dax? We need a Cybertruck.
So moving on to the next story. We were talking, and I think Moss alluded to it earlier. The Jay Leno. This is that the whole Cybertruck staying the same size. That was number 3 on our list. This is number 2 on our list of most important news, Tesla-related news for the week. The Jay Leno, like, people are waiting for this. This is tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. Tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
And there was last week, I think there was a 1-minute preview, like a little sneak peek. And now I hear like I'm looking at an article here from Road and Track talking about Leno, talking about the show coming up tomorrow night. And apparently this is like a 3-minute sneak peek or a 7-minute sneak peek or something like that. But I don't want to watch it. I don't know if you guys have watched it yet. I don't want to watch it because I want to watch the whole thing in its entirety.
I've ruined it for myself.
That's what I don't want to do.
I listened to Jay Leno. He was on a podcast. The name eludes me, but I listened to his to the Hour podcast. So I've heard everything from Jay's mouth of what he did with Elon. I don't know if you want me to say a couple things, but I won't because I don't want to ruin it for the people that want to be surprised. But it's actually pretty cool how Elon comes to pick up Jay Leno. I won't say how. And where they go with the Cybertruck, where they come out of the boring tunnel. I mean, that's not giving anything away, or it might be a little bit. But yeah, so I've heard from Jay's mouth what that whole episode is about, and it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. That was like a podcast radio interview or something. I forgot about that. I heard that too. I heard that, and yeah, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like
I've tried avoiding looking at the clips so I can watch the full thing in its entirety. But following Earl, who constantly takes like little photos of it and adds his little like meme text on top, so you kind of get a gist of things that are happening just from Earl. Right. So
yeah,
just got to block Earl basically.
No, yeah. Earl's a character. No, but it is exciting. I can't wait to see that. I'm gonna have to. I'm busy tomorrow night, but I'm gonna have to record it or find it somewhere. What's it on? Does anyone know? Like what network it's on?
CNBC.
Do we get that here in Canada? Pardon my ignorance.
No, so.
But yeah.
We'll
but there's always ways to get it.
Go to YouTube and type up Jay Leno Cybertruck tomorrow night. And then if you go to advanced search, you can search by clips longer than 30 minutes or whatever, longer than 20 minutes. And I guarantee you're going to find a whole bunch that have been uploaded.
Just watch them quickly before they get
pretty much
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to knowing more about it. It may be one of these things that are overblown, and maybe we're reading too much into it, and it may just end up being nothing. But I have a feeling that some good tidbits will be revealed from that. So we'll have to wait and see. So that's exciting news. That's news once again about the Cybertruck. But I think the biggest news, and I'm bringing it up right here. Well, I was going to bring it up, and then I just lost it. Bear with me 1 second. The biggest news, and I don't know how to actually. Moss and I were talking about this off air before we started the podcast. I don't know how to actually say it. Like, it's historic, I guess you could say. Like,
sure is.
Yeah, it's the big, and some people may say, okay, well, this isn't Tesla-related news, Dax, but you know what? SpaceX and Tesla, other than the Elon having the same stuff in connection, in common and stuff like that, they work hand in hand. And wasn't it something that they did on the Model 3 that wasn't working out, and they were looking for a solution, and they knocked on the door of SpaceX, and SpaceX engineers helped them out on it?
From what I understand, their material team worked together.
Yes, that's
definitely. You have the Tesla material team and the SpaceX material team that work together. I believe that was part of the reason why the glass was red to start. It's like some special coating glass.
Oh, really?
Don't quote me on it, but I know that they've worked together quite a bit in the past, at least from a material standpoint. So it's really cool. I was really skeptical about the glass, and it's pretty amazing. So I don't know, whatever they did, it's great.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, which would be, if you're listening to this afterwards, and you probably already saw it, if you're into Tesla and SpaceX, tomorrow, which is May 27th at 4:33 p.m. Eastern Time, they're going to be launching from, where is it, Kennedy? Yeah, the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral in Florida. Two guys, remember these names, because I think if this becomes historic, like a lot of us are thinking it's going to be, these guys' names are going to go down in history. Robert, also known as Bob Benkin, and Doug Hurley. These guys are the brave guys that are going to take the first. How do we put this? Anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it basically to be the first manned or commercial crew launch by SpaceX, or you can even look at it. Moss was saying earlier, the first launch in 10 years by NASA, or that isn't NASA. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I might be totally screwing this up, but that's what I think it's supposed to be.
Well, I think NASA hasn't done. They stopped in, I think it was 2011, I believe. But as for sending astronauts into space, being a commercial company. This would be the first, correct?
Yeah, we have Anthony in the chat who's very on top of these things. He says it's the first manned commercial crew launch since the end of the shuttle program.
Yeah, that's true. They ended the shuttle program. That's when NASA stopped.
It's the first commercial company ever, basically, that's doing it, which is really cool.
Which is huge. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the amount of money to do it is insane, and there's not too many companies that are like, yeah, let's just throw money at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any I'm asking these questions, throwing it out there. I probably should know the answers, but is there any chance that this is not going to go down no more? Like, is there a chance of a scrub? Like, is there bad weather on the horizon as of now? Does anyone know?
I know they had a couple tests. You know how they do the tests before launches and everything?
Yeah, I heard they did one today.
Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to affect it. As for the weather-wise, I mean, I even checked the weather app, and I think there was a 40 or 50% chance of rain. But as of right now, 433 it looks like it's still a go.
Okay, well, let's keep our fingers crossed because, yeah, usually, as we
other thing I wanted to throw out, because Mark mentioned in the chat, the SpaceX thrusters on the Roadster. And then he said Tesla motors on rocket legs.
Yeah. Oh, really? Tesla motors on rocket legs?
Yeah.
That is
so, yeah, that's kind of cool.
So,
just some other collaborations, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And you guys you've seen the Model X's that they're using?
Oh, true. Yes, last week that was announced that the astronauts are going to be shuttled. Pardon the pun. Shuttled to the launch pad in a Model X. Now, I gotta imagine, even though the suits don't look as large and cumbersome as a normal, what we know back in the 90s or when they were doing the shuttle stuff, it doesn't look as bulky as those, but it's still got to have some kind of bulk to it. So I'm wondering, on its own, obviously they're not going to wear their helmets probably, or maybe they will. I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist, so I can't tell you. I might be just making stuff up here, but I would think they'd have to do some modification for the Model X to have these guys sit in there comfortably.
Maybe it's just a 5-seater with the seats spread apart.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, or maybe the younger of these two guys has to sit in the back third row. maybe they flip a
third
coin.
row's kind of tight.
I'm kidding.
The younger go at the front.
Yeah. Maybe one of them will call shotgun.
Yeah, that's how they're doing it.
Yeah, or flip a coin maybe. But yeah, no. Mark in the chat says that the SpaceX design suits are they fit a lot more fitting than the
yeah, you can see that. Yeah, you can see that in the pictures too.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of going back to what we were saying before, which is still on topic, but it's not. It's really interesting that all of Elon's companies are kind of interlinked. So if you think like the Boring Company through the tunnels, they obviously use a Tesla.
Yep.
They said there's a lot of interconnectivity between all three companies, where like the Boring Company was buying batteries from Tesla. They're borrowing tech from SpaceX for the Roadster, for example. Like I feel like they're still separate companies, don't get me wrong, but he utilizes engineers and resources when he can, right? It's very resourceful that way.
Yeah.
When they had like the whole Thailand situation, he talked to the SpaceX engineers. The whole pandemic, he went to Tesla for the whole ventilator situation. So he's very resourceful, grabbing things where he needs to, and it's kind of cool that he's able to pull that off, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you think of the mind talent, the intelligence pool that he has at his fingertips when he needs to fix something. Like,
and they probably hate him tweeting, right?
Yeah, because you know that these smart guys, they don't want to have anything to do with Spotlight.
Well, that and he's like, oh yeah, this is gonna come next week, and they're like, wait, what?
Well, that too. Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago. How I'm sure he catches these engineers off guard every now and then.
Yeah.
In his storms. Yeah. So I was you were talking there, Franklin. I was scrolling through this Tasmanian article. The one that I pulled up originally for the launch, and scrolling through it, and they have a lot of different tweets on Twitter about this topic. And NASA had put out a tweet saying here, for the first time since 2011, this is basically what we were saying, and just encapsulates it a little cleaner. We're sending American astronauts back to space on an American rocket from American soil. So you don't get much more American than that, I guess, and patriotic. Nope. It'll be interesting, and it'll be fun. And I don't know about you guys. Was it last February? We should have really got Anthony on this because he's the rocket guy. But you guys probably know also. I think it was last February when they did the Heavy, and that went up with was it not Spaceman?
Roadster?
With the Roadster and Spaceman and all that, right? Was it last February or February before?
Last.
Yeah, 2019.
I don't know. It's hard. Time right now is like.
I know. Yeah. I know. With this whole pandemic. Well, my point, anyways, is.
I feel like we've been in 2020 for the last like 10 years. So.
I know. When that happened and I was watching that live, I don't know about you guys, but that gave me goosebumps. Like just watching that and seeing it, and then they put that music to it, and I was like, wow. Yeah.
It was 2018.
2018. Wow.
Yeah. So
I think it's really fascinating because during like the Cold War and World War II, there was like the whole space race, right? And everyone was like, hey, we got to get to space, we got to get to the moon, so on and so forth. And I feel like the public interest for space kind of died out over the years.
For sure.
And SpaceX is like really the, like at least personally, I attribute SpaceX as like the turning point to gain public interest in space and all that kind of tech again, right? Which we kind of lost somewhere between the Cold War and the last like 10, 15 years. So SpaceX has done an excellent job with that. And it's just really cool to see a private company, like non-government funded company, be able to pull off what they have been, right? Mm-hmm. And I've seen so many times NASA and NASA engineers and stuff say like they are able to do way more than we can, and they push the envelope more than we can. I guess because they have way more red tape, I guess would be my thought.
Yeah, the bureaucracy for sure. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Whereas you have someone like Elon who says like, I mean, granted he's not like heading SpaceX as much as he used to, but I mean you have someone forward thinking like him who says like, hey, yeah, let's go for it. We're doing this, right? So just definitely a different mentality of how to function and work. So. Yeah.
No, and like I mean, he'll find a way to get it done, like you're saying, and I mean, I'm sure it changes from month to month or week to week, depending on what's going on. But just recently, I mean, last year he'd put out some tweet where someone had asked him, how do you split your time up between all your companies and stuff like that? Right, and SpaceX was up there. And then recently he did another tweet where it was a very, very similar percentage for SpaceX. Like more so, and I think what was it, like less than 5% was the Boring Company.
Boring Company.
It just ran itself type of thing.
So yeah, just going by all the different things, like on the Joe Rogan podcast, he mentioned Neuralink was like 5%. So if you go 5% for that, the Boring Company another 5%, so it's like 10% of his time. And then Tesla's has to be a huge chunk because it was always at the factory, right, working.
Yeah, well, you would think so, and for all the launches and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But SpaceX, in one of them, SpaceX was the most, and I found that interesting.
Yeah, I think between SpaceX and Tesla, because I know, like he's talking about, if you guys haven't listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, the second one that he's done is kind of interesting. He's saying that one of his lifetime goals was to build a customized house, like from the ground up, and he found a really nice place to do it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, build a custom house or focus on my mission to go to Mars. Yep. He's like, well, Mars it is. Forget my house. So it's really interesting that he thinks that way, right? Like,
yeah, that's when Joe had said to him like Tony Stark. Tony
Stark. Yeah, exactly.
And he goes, yeah, but that would be a lot of work.
I just find it fascinating because he always like allots his time in segments, and I guess we all do to a certain extent, right? But
Yeah.
he lots his time in segments, and he puts a lot of time and energy into space because it's such a huge passion of his. I believe, like, I know I've read it somewhere. I know he said it. His long-term goal is to eventually sell all his Tesla shares to put it all the money, all the cash into SpaceX, right?
Oh wow.
So
I think I heard that too.
yeah,
I think I have. The other thing I found interesting, he also, certain days of the week are spent at certain places as well. Like, wasn't it always Tuesday or Wednesday is Tesla's at Tesla?
Oh,
and then, there's certain days of the week he's at SpaceX, and certain days, as in like every week on this day, he'll be here. I can't remember if that was on Rogan as well, but I read that as well. I found that pretty interesting.
Makes it easy to stalk. Makes it easy to stalk.
Okay. So that's historic news. An historic event, and I think the biggest news of the week. That's like, it's not even Tesla related, but it is Tesla related. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not officially Tesla. It's SpaceX, a completely different company. But I think we've established how they're so similarly connected. So yeah, that's exciting news. If you guys haven't heard about this and you're listening, and if you're listening now, tune in tomorrow, 4:33. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled or scrubbed or delayed or anything like that.
What time zone?
Eastern time, buddy. Eastern time.
Hey, I'm just trying to help with the viewers.
Yeah. I know. No, I appreciate that. But if you're listening to this after the fact, then history's already been made. Hopefully. Moving on to our last story, and this wasn't in one of the top three things. This is just an interesting story that I came across by Tasmanian again. I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen there. So
it's a little low. I think you have to scroll up just a little. There it is.
So this Tesla, I guess there was a flood, and leave it up to me that I didn't read the full article. I just read the headlines and a little bit of the article, and then I looked at the picture. So this Tesla, or this Model 3, gets trapped in this flood, and the electronics are working still. And this picture that was taken shows the headlights underwater projecting a beam. It's hilarious. Now, I wonder why the frunk is open. Now, I don't know if that was it could have been. I was going to say that can't be a malfunction where it just like opened up and then the hood opened up. But if they've got one of those different struts like we do on many of our cars, then yeah, it could be. But if it's stock, then someone obviously
they forgot something in the frunk and they had to open it to get it out.
Yeah. But like, what do you guys like? We've all heard about Rich Rebuilds and how he gets flooded Teslas, and we've seen the conditions that they're in and stuff like that with a battery pack, and how they still run, even though if they're like water damage and stuff like that with the circuit boards and the battery packs, and the drivetrains. But what do you guys think of this? What do you think? Any comments about it? Like, we don't have to dwell on this.
That thing will still drive.
You think so?
Yep. So if you go on YouTube and you type in Tesla water or Tesla through water or whatever, there's actually more clips than you'd imagine of Teslas driving through water as if it's a boat.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of them, and I remember Elon he tweeted about it. He goes, it's obviously not a great idea for long-term health of the car, but because it's like an unsealed container underneath, it'll function more or less like a boat. I mean, I'm not saying the car's going to be in great condition or it's going to work long-term, but I mean, throughout the water, it should function long enough for them to go sailing wherever they want to go.
Yeah. So while you were talking there, and I'm glad you did, you gave me an actual opportunity to read the damn article and realize that a lot of what I was just, trust me, I really didn't read much, but they actually do talk about Rich Rebuild's YouTube channel and stuff like that. But this was an underwater flood, or a car underwater after a flood, after torrential rainfall in southern China. And there is a name of this town or city in China that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. But if you people are watching at home, if I can, no, it won't allow me to zoom in. But it's right around here where my cursor is going. That's the name of the place. If you guys, one of you guys want to take a stab at this, go ahead.
I was like you. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah, I'm not even. But you know what? When I saw this, the first
Gonzo who?
Yeah.
See, and
exactly.
that's why I didn't try.
My apologies.
No, you don't have to apologize.
Hey, I attempted.
Yeah, you're better off than me. You're braver than me. But tell me if I'm the only one here, guys. When you saw this picture, other than the first initial reaction, hey, the lights still work and everything, and like you were saying, Franklin, you bet it works and everything. Well, wouldn't you love to see the owner try to smart summon it? To see if that actually worked? Because I know you, Franklin, you would have tried if that was your car.
100% I would.
You would have tried.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I have insurance anyway. If the car's like a write-off, so it makes no difference at that point.
Yeah,
We're going to say like...
At the point that 3 isn't right there, you might as well play with the app all you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do? Like, float into the other car beside you and hit it? Like,
like turn on the AC to see if it'll start pumping water out of that one single slit like a waterfall.
Yeah.
Or try to make the heater go on as high as possible to see if you can warm up the water and get at least a couple of bubbles or something.
Yeah. Or
I'd definitely be smart summoning. That's it.
Or just the funniest thing is just put on the wipers.
But I think in the article, Dax, doesn't it say that the lights, I mean, they look like they're on in the picture, but doesn't it say that it's the hazards? So I think I was reading somewhere that the lights are blinking, but obviously whoever took the picture probably caught it when they were on. So I was wondering why were the hazards on if, I mean, there's not enough information to answer all the questions that you get from that picture. You touched on the frunk. How's the frunk open if it's the stock Model 3? But I know I read somewhere in that tweet or a tweet that went with the article, but I think the lights are just hazard lights, not really the lights.
Okay. I don't see that here, but yeah, I believe you. If you read the article, then you did that much more than I did before I started talking about this. Yeah. Because I was scrolling through it as you say that, and in here I just see where it says it appears that the headlights were on clearly. That's all it says here, despite being underwater. But I believe you. But it's just it's just an interesting picture. It's food for thought type of thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
No, I think it's always cool to see these things, and I always like. Again, we don't have enough information. I really want to know the aftermath of this car. Like, how well does it hold up, right? Like I said, I don't think it's going to be like, obviously not mint condition, right? It's going to have obviously problems, but kind of curious to see like the long-term longevity or if it still functions, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming most people would just wreck it, like I'd just write it off type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like who in their right mind? I mean, in China, maybe they have different insurance protocols and different ways they go about doing it. Maybe they do have a system to dry that sucker out and put it back on the road. And the insurance company's like, yeah, well, we paid for your dry cleaning. Here's your car back. Maybe their threshold for writing a car off is different here than here in North America. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But that brings us to the end of the news. What I want to do before we've got a couple questions, and if you guys in the chat room have any questions, feel free to just jot it down there.
Sorry, Marcos put some rice on it to dry it out.
Put some what?
Rice. So
yeah,
like this oldest trick. If you throw water on your phone before they went waterproof, you just put rice on it to.
Well, I thought that always worked with iPhones, Franklin.
It did work.
Of course it did. It's an iPhone, man. They're built.
No, I'm asking. I don't know. I've never.
I know you don't know.
I don't have a problem with my phone. It's waterproof.
Yes. Whoa.
Ours are water resistant.
Yes. But you know what? No, it's a side story. I don't want to get off on a side story. What I do want to get off on a side story before we get to the questions is talk a little bit about Moss's Garage. Now, in case anyone doesn't know, Moss is a cool guy, and at the beginning of the podcast, you heard a little brief history about him and stuff like that. And what I forgot to ask you, I'm going to stop for one quick second. We didn't talk about your car, or I know you mentioned you got a 3, but did you tell the folks at home? And I might have missed it. I apologize if you did say it, and I just totally forgot. Did you say what trim you got and what color you got and when you got it, type of thing?
So my 2-year anniversary is coming up, June 6th. I picked it up, and the only trim you can get was long range, rear wheel drive, and
awesome.
with all the options. I wanted to make that $14,000 rebate, so I didn't bother waiting for white seats or all-wheel drive or performance. I want the 14 grand, and that's a big chunk. At the time, it was it was like even people in the States were wondering 14,000, and if you think about it, that is a huge chunk.
Yeah.
So,
that was huge.
So that's my trim. I stayed with Midnight Silver.
Yep.
My Model S was Midnight Silver, and I when that thing's clean. And as mine is quite often during the summer months, it looks pretty sharp.
That's good. Yeah, no, you've got some nice wheels on there in the summer, and I know that I've inquired about those wheels that you have. You have some awesome wheels. I wish I had a picture. I should have. Once again, I should have done my homework and thought this out thoroughly beforehand and planned in advance. And I should have put a picture of your car up there to show everyone your it's Firestones, right? You got on there? Rubber?
The rubber is Firestone Firehawks, the Indy 500.
Yes.
And the rims, the wheels I have are the fast wheels, the FC04. I have the titanium one.
Yes. Those they look awesome on the Midnight Silver.
Sure.
But yeah, what I was complimenting you about every single time I see you, and even now, is those Firestones. If you ever seen these Firestone, these Indy, you said they're Indy?
Firestone Firehawk Indy 500.
Indy 500. The tread pattern, as the tread sort of curves over to the sidewall, looks awesome on this car. Like it looks amazing. But I looked into it, and it was a little out of my price range, and I don't think they had it in stock too when I was looking for it. They were sold out, so I didn't get it at the time. But that's good. That's good to know. You've got one of the best colors out there. I mean, who's kidding who? The car looks good in any color, but exactly. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little biased to that color because I got the same color as you. And
that was the hardest choice for buying the car.
It was. Did you get?
Every color looked good.
Yeah. And of course, when we're looking at it on a screen, right?
Yeah, because I don't know about you guys, I never got to see it. Oh, well, I did actually. I saw it at the auto show, the Toronto Auto Show, a few months before, and it was in red.
The red one.
And then and then when they had it at the where did I go? I was at Yorkdale.
I went to Yorkdale Mall. Too, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you wait in line, Franklin?
So I went. It opened up Friday morning. I was there like Friday afternoon before the hustle and bustle because I took the day off. Okay. And I figured because I went during like working hours, I didn't have to stay in line as much. So I still waited like maybe a half hour to see it. And I saw the car for 30 seconds before they kicked me out.
Did you
see 60 seconds, I think. Yeah.
Did you see Trevor there? Because I think he was there on the first day too.
No, I don't remember. Yeah. But I do know I saw it red both times. So when it came to ordering, I was like, well, if they keep showing it off in red, I'm going with red, right? That has to be the color that they want me to choose. So
you went with red?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That was my whole reasoning.
Oh, I didn't know you had a red car.
Yeah. That was my whole reasoning.
I know. I'm kidding. We're going to get to your little story in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, red cars. Yeah.
So,
Moss, that was a little side note of how you got your car. Oh, by the way, FSD or no FSD?
I jumped in when it was $2,600. Remember, we had that sale here in Canada.
Smart guy,
I think we all did.
Yes.
Can you see this?
Install now. Are you getting the update?
Yeah, I just got it.
I don't notice that notification because it's Android. I'm not familiar with that.
Wake up your car. Paul actually messaged me. Tesla Canuck messaged me while we're doing this, and he just got the update. So wake up your car and then give it like 30 seconds, and then mine popped up.
If you're listening to this live, folks, I think the mass update is going out to Canada, and it is 16.2.1. I just got the update too.
Right here. Thanks, Franklin.
No
Thanks,
problem.
buddy. You're hearing it live
wake up
here on YouTube.
Wake up your car, guys.
Wake up your car and go crash the Tesla server right now.
At Yorkdale, someone broke the back glass. I think it was Frank. Settle down there, Ryan.
Yeah, it was probably Ryan that broke it and blaming it on you.
Hey, is this the Fallout update?
Yes, it is.
The what
Cool.
update?
Fallout.
The follow. And I think in the States, is this where people are getting the animated pedestrians?
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't get it.
Maybe that it's still tied with the whole lights and everything.
Maybe it is.
But I
We're
don't know
dull
if you,
individuals.
Damn us
Yeah.
Canadians.
Yeah.
we're still waiting. But has everybody seen the pedestrians, and you can actually see them walking across
That's cool.
the
Yeah.
Have
We
you
haven't learned
have
to
you
move
seen
our
the
legs
dogs?
yet.
The dogs move too?
Wait, really?
I'm
I
kidding.
didn't see that one.
I'm kidding.
I didn't see that one. You gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
should go to
2020.
Yeah,
You
That's
should have
see
seen
that one up.
2020.
Listen, with Tesla, anything's possible, first of all. Second of all, you could have totally said yes, and you could have said, go look it up. It was like the coolest thing, and I would have been so blown away.
Yeah, and then we'd be down to 2 guests on the podcast.
We just
All you'd
lost
see
4.
is a spinning chair.
We lost 4. People want to go update their cars, so shouldn't have said
I know.
anything. Sorry, Dex.
I know. That's fine. That's fine. No, but you know what? Hey, maybe for Canada, this may be the stoplight and street signs, or stop signs and traffic lights for us. Who knows?
I'll tell you in 90%.
90%.
I don't.
Okay,
I
well,
think-
let's hurry up with this podcast and let's get it over with so Franklin can go test his car out. No, we can all update our cars eventually. What I want to know is one of the main reasons, other than having Moss on as an awesome guest and very interesting viewpoints and stuff like that about Tesla, which is when we discuss stuff, is what I wanted to hear. But I wanted to hear about your garage. What can you tell us about your garage and how it came about and stuff like that?
Well, let me clarify first, because a couple people contacted me on Twitter. So it's not like an actual garage. I actually don't even have a garage. I have a 4-car driveway. But I've been working on my own vehicles since I was like 20. So I've been that guy in the neighborhood who does the oil changes, the tire rotations, as long as they're on the rims. I've done tranny flushes, brakes. So that's what I've always done. Now, when I got my S, I was like, ooh, I was kind of scared working on a very expensive car. So I remember the first time jacking it up, I was like, oh, please don't. Please, nothing happened to the car. So anyways, I did the maintenance on my car. And then when the 3 came, with the tires, I have the winter tires and summer tires. So I changed them. And then with all these wraps and chrome deletes, I started doing those. And Franklin and we've done 2 or 3 chrome deletes. And then there's the cabin filter. So I do that now as well at my place. So if it's regular maintenance stuff that doesn't need the car to be like hooked up to the computer that Tesla would do, I just started doing the front brake, lubing the pads and scrubbing all the rust off and making them all nice and clean and lubing them and putting them back in. So when I got on Twitter and started meeting everybody, hey, I do this at our supercharger meetups. I mean, that's how I met Anthony and Franklin and you, Dax. But we would talk about how I work on cars, and I'm actually surprised, not because people are trusting me. I'm not saying I'm not untrustworthy, but I'm blown away that people are willing to drive from Brampton to Hamilton just for me to change your tires
There's a
and
reason
put
for
on
it.
your sunroof. What's that?
There's a reason for it.
We trust you, right?
So
Yeah.
I honestly I trust you with my car more than I do Tesla.
That's saying a lot, buddy. Yeah.
No, it's true because
Yeah.
I've had my experience with Tesla service, and we can talk about that in another week. But I find Tesla service, you have to understand that they're doing one car after another after another. Like they still have a quota that they have to hit in terms of cars that they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Where I find that like you truly care and you take more care of my car than they do. And I'm not saying that they're mistreated in any way, but I'm just saying like I don't know, you care more because you're an individual in your house and you're doing it because you enjoy doing it, and I don't know, it's just like a different experience, right? Plus, I get to hang out with you, so it's obviously like a huge bonus.
And that's the other thing, Dax. I used to have like 4 Teslas come to my house, and it'd be a get together.
Little mini meetup.
Mini meetup, right? The funny thing is everyone's watching me do the work. I remember, so Franklin was joking about that a couple of times, and I don't mind. I'm the one that has always got my hands dirty. So, I mean, I have a low profile jack, 3-ton jack to get under the 3. I have all the tools, all the equipment. So if I say something on Twitter and whoever follows me out there, I post everything I do to my car and take pictures. And so if I feel comfortable to do it on my car, and a lot of people trust me, I'll do it to your car as well. And it's a great way to meet people. And like I said, sometimes I don't know these people other than Twitter until you come over to my house and I send you my address, and then I'm like, oh man. And
what
then,
have I done? And then Anthony.
But no, I've honestly, I think I'm up to almost 10 to 12 different people that have come to my house.
Awesome.
And me work on their car.
And as Mark said, there's coffee and the occasional pizza. So I mean,
right, yeah. So the big meetup, I bought pizza, which is the box is about 3 by 4, 3 feet by 4 feet, and I brought pizza. I think Anthony had some beverages, and then I have the espressos. Obviously, I'm always tweeting about my espressos. So let me work on your car. Let's sit down and talk Tesla, and let's just become friends. I mean, we talk on Twitter every day. Let's put a face to the name, and it's turned out amazing, Dax. I mean,
that's awesome.
to finally meet everybody in person.
And in terms of Chrome deletes, can we touch on that real quick? So I did my first Chrome delete myself with my own car.
You totally
it came out okay.
Oh, did it? I was totally joking. I had no idea.
I mean, for my first attempt, it's not bad. Like, I've never worked with vinyl before. Anyway, it was all right. Yeah. And then I helped Moss with doing the Chrome delete on his car. And granted, like, he's the perfectionist here, but like, it came out so good.
It was good.
Well, that's what you want. You want a perfectionist, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like, I'm not saying it for saying, like, I'm very open and honest, right? And I'll tell you, if you need a Chrome delete and you're not sure to do it, and you're in the Greater Toronto area, definitely go to Moss.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. That you bring up a good point that I have to get out there before we go any further. This is not an advertisement, a paid advertisement. Moss isn't paying me anything. We're not paying Moss anything. This is just us as a Tesla community giving advice to other members in that community that happen to be in the GTA that can't get an appointment to go to Tesla or don't want to pay the high prices at Tesla. This is all that is, just so we know this is not like a paid advertisement. Sorry, continue, Franklin.
What do you mean? Moss gave me money? No.
Color bars.
No, it's true, right? I'm not saying it for any other reason. It's true, right? Moss was a great guy, and definitely like give him a chance, right? So
I just love working on cars. I mean, and it hasn't stopped with Tesla. I mean, I'm not getting my hands as dirty as I used to in the past, but I mean, there's so much to do to your car to personalize it. If you wanted me to wrap your console, sure. That's why I do mine so I could know how to do it and feel comfortable to do it to others.
Awesome.
So how much of your car has been wrapped now? I know you said someone asked you on Twitter, because over the last week you've posted a lot of videos of everything in your car.
Yeah, I think almost everything that can be interior. I did the glove box and the side door kickers this week, and oh man, it turned out beautiful. I actually sent G a private message for a couple more places that I think we can get some vinyl wrapping, and I think he's going to look into it. But a couple people, what's that?
No, I'm saying, ooh, that's awesome.
Oh,
I'm excited to see what you came up with.
Well, I was washing my car the other day, and the exterior from the front door to the back on the lower part of the car, I think I noticed that it was dirty, but it wasn't coming off. And if you think about it, that's where all the rocks go. They go backwards as you're driving. So I mentioned to G from Tesla Bros that how about down on the bottom of the car, and that might be what's coming the Tesla Bros way to wrap. But a couple people asked me, I've never seen a Model 3 get wrapped so much as yours, but I just want to keep it as long as I can looking new, and the kids in the back seat, and what they can do to it. So
yes,
if there's a wrap up, Dak understands. If there's a wrap, I think I have everything that Tesla Bros offered, and not another paid advertisement. But if you are looking for vinyl wrap, chrome delete, go check out Tesla Bros, Test Bros. G. I deal a lot with him, and the customer service and the products are second to none in my opinion. So go check them out if you're interested in any final products.
Yes, and you touched on the stuff that you do, and obviously there's limitations, like you said. You can't do anything that where you actually have to hoist the car up on an H hoist, or you said computer stuff. But all the other stuff you do, and you touched on one that was very interesting, and I actually, I'm glad I did it myself, but I should have brought it to you for you to do it. But you said you do the air filter change, right?
The cabin filter, yeah.
The cabin filter change.
I've done a few of those now.
Yeah.
How long did it take you, Dak?
You know what? It didn't take me that long, surprisingly.
Good.
I've got a little. You know what? The longest part here. I got a picture on. Anyone who's watching at home, tell me if you can tell the difference between the clean ones and the dirty ones.
Dirty ones are at the top, right?
Come on, you fail. Yeah. No. So that is just one picture. It didn't, like I said, what I decided to do, and I knew it needed changing anyways, but like most others, my problem is I had that smell.
You did?
Yes, I had that smell, so I had to get that out. So I went and I bought, I researched and I saw some videos and stuff like that, and some people recommended this stuff that I think it only was in the States. I looked it up on Amazon, and
it's the foam. I think. Sorry, I think it's the clean with a K.
Yes, there was that. There was that too, and then this one, it was the DWD2 clean. At the end of the day, but you know what? Look at the price. This is Canadian prices from Amazon. It was $50, and then another $13 to ship it. So it would have been well over $60 to ship it. And you know what? I mean, it's something you do once every couple of years, right? So or every year if you really want to be anal about it. So if you think of the pricing, you pay another $50 or 50 and change for the two filters if you get it from Tesla as opposed to a third party. So you've got a good expensive car, so why not spend some money? So a lot of people would say, right? So I was going to get that, and then I was doing some research, and I went into our local friendly Canadian. Was it? Yeah, it was Canadian Tire. And and I found this stuff. So any of you Canadians out there that are looking to do is to eliminate the smell. Basically, what you got to do is you got to clean your condenser. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Moss. You clean that air conditioning condenser. That's where all the mold or the smell's coming from.
Right, and you use like I think the whole can, I believe. And
Well, yeah, that $50 one that I showed you, that DW, or you were even talking
Right.
about the clean one with a K. Clean It, I think it was.
Clean Glow, yeah.
Clean, yeah, that was it. They advise you to use the whole can. I don't know how big those cans were, but I went to Canadian Tire and I found this one. It's called a foaming cleaner, and as you can see on the label here, it looks like it's for like home and window models and stuff like that. And the can is huge, buddy. Like the can is huge. I sprayed so much, and I don't have a. Do I have a picture of the stuff that I sprayed in? Anyways, I use this stuff. It didn't say it was for automotive, but I asked the guy at the store, and I didn't ask the 15-year-old guy at Canadian Tire. I asked the guy. Not that anything wrong with the opinions
Right.
or education of a 15-year-old high school kid or anything. I'm just saying. Let me not get myself into more trouble. I'm just saying. I asked someone at the desk, not to say that they would know more, but. Anyways, long story short, I got it on a good authority that it would work for cars too. Yeah, and I don't have a picture of the stuff that I.
And it worked out
ended
well.
up using. It ended up working out, but I used like the can was so big. I ended up using not even a fifth of the can, so it could easily do another 3 or 4 cars. And when I said I sprayed it in there, I sprayed it in there a lot because it's one of those expanding foam things, and you let it sit for 5 minutes, and it just drains out the drain hole, and then you put the cover back on without the filters, the new filters, and you put the cap back on. You run it for 5 minutes at full again, and then it worked. Even though it had this citrus smell, it said it was supposed to be non fragrance or non-odor. It had the citrus smell, so I thought, not that it was a pleasant smell, but I'm thinking, it's gonna smell. The whole car for the next week is gonna smell like oranges. But you know what? After I guess I blew it out with the fan and everything, and I put the filters back and everything, I didn't smell a thing. No bad odor, and on top of it, no citrus smell. So it worked amazingly. So to answer your question, it took me about an hour.
An hour. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, you did use the foam as well. Okay.
I used the foam, and I took my time, and within that hour, like I went in for lunch. So yeah, minus lunch, it probably took me about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But like I said, that's taking my time. And what also took a little while was, I don't know if I put my phone in there with the flashlight, and down at the bottom of the reservoir, you could see there was tiny little. Once again, I had a picture of it, and I should have brought it to show you guys. Little tiny little beads. I guess it was little seeds that I guess had fallen through the air vent at the top of the windshield, and it got down there, and it was down at the bottom. So I manufactured fabricated this little nozzle hose that I hooked up to my vacuum to get in there because it was just bugging me. I mean, I could have left it in there. They weren't doing nothing. They weren't impeding or bothering anybody. The only thing that was bothering it was me. So I got a little thing in there, and I vacuumed that. That took an extra 5 or 10 minutes to duct tape this little contraption on it. So I did that to get it out, and so that took an extra. So probably anyone else, any other idiot like me, would have probably taken about half an hour.
I'm down to 15 minutes to do the cabin builder.
I was just about to say you probably could do it in half the time. So get the stuff, or if you don't want to get it from Moss, and go to Moss, and he'll do it for you. Where could people, if people are listening at home and they're in the GTA and they want to take you up on your offer, how could they go about getting in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter. So I got 2 handles. I kind of started a new Twitter handle at Garage Moss, but you can get me through there or at Covello Massimo, and DM me, and we can chat there. And I usually just give my number, and we can make it easier and chat through text messaging. But if you want me to, or if you have a question to ask me, I thank people like Franklin that give my praise, and thanks Franklin for letting everybody know. He's even tweeted at it a couple times, which is mind blowing to have people tweet what a what a nice guy I am and good work I do. So thank you. Yeah,
Well,
there it is
sure.
right there.
Yeah, for anyone
Yeah.
watching at home, I just put up his Twitter page for his garage.
Yeah, that was my latest. Yeah, I mean, it's so, that one was so simple. G's got it cut perfectly. So again, that product is the door kicker from Test Bros. Go check them out. And after the 24 hours, I don't know if I posted any pictures, but I will. It just looks there. You can tell there's a little bit of a shine, but it's not like a huge glare. But it's there to protect it. And I'm if there's something to do, I'm just going to put it on. So
yeah, I needed that probably on week 1 of my car. I wish G had brought that out a lot earlier, because I've got that little scuffs and stuff like that. And does he make one for the back seats too?
as of right now, no. The only thing that he does in the back, you know where the vents are in the back, and the USB, not the USB, but the plugins in the back.
Yep.
That's not. Yeah, that's wrapped. But sorry, I wrapped that with matte black. It's not a vinyl. So the only thing in the back so far, I believe, is just that. But yeah, obviously the back door is probably next as well. I think every week he's got a new products coming out.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Franklin, you usually tweet out a coupon, right?
Yeah, it's M Frunker 15, which gives you 15% off.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his, like, a not paid advertisement. His customer support is like really, really good. And his products are fantastic. So, really good to work with, really easy to work with. Just seems like a really good guy overall. So,
yeah. I will mention one thing though, for people who are ordering. I am ordering a lot of the stuff with this whole COVID-19. It is out of his hands, but it is taking a little bit longer. And I've tweeted with a few people about, hey man, it's still stuck in Chicago. I think Chicago is like a big hub. So it has nothing to do with him. I mean, we have to understand what's going on nowadays with COVID and everything. But if you can just be patient a little bit longer than a week, but they get there and the products are good. So
I ordered something beginning of April, and it just says like in transit. Like there's no specifics for. I ordered an electronic. There's no specifics for when it's arriving or anything, and it's supposed to have like proper tracking. And it's like, yeah, it'll show up one day, you know.
And just to be clear, this isn't Tesla Bros.
No, non-Tesla.
No,
unrelated.
No.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
I'm just saying shipping times in general right now.
Yeah.
Are pretty skewed, so just keep that in mind, right? I mean, for anything you order.
You gotta expect that was what's going on, right? I mean, if Amazon is taking more than 2 days for Prime shipping, then you just have to expect it. And if you order something from Alibaba or Wish, then you'll get it in 2021. So okay,
if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah. And then you probably won't like it and you'll have to return it. And good luck with that. So moving on, thanks very much, Moss. So guys, if you're in a GTA and you want some good quality work done, trustworthy work, go see Moss. Or go to Tesla too. I mean, no one's telling you what to do, but we're just trying to help out the community and give everyone a little bit of advice. I just got one quick question. We're at the 1:13 mark, so I want to end it soon. But I got one quick question that I want to get answered here, and I'll get you guys' opinion on it. The question is from Mark. We had Mark on. Mark is a cool guy. He wants to know any thoughts on the Cybertruck experience in a Canadian winter. See, we were talking about the Cybertruck, and I remember, Moss, you were talking about winter and stuff like that. So this is, I should have actually brought this question while we were on the topic, but stupid me didn't. Will the steel help out here? I guess he's talking about the cold roll steel, and he's got the little robot icon there. Will the new battery chemistry help out, or the battery management system be required to unlock the range and regen faster in the cold? Like all these winter problems that we've had problems with, or not problems, but that are known to have be a I guess, a winter thing for EVs. Like, what he's wondering is with the Cybertruck coming, is this something that we're gonna have to worry about, or not even worried? Worry is probably the wrong term for it, but just is that something that we're gonna have to deal with as a Canadian experience, or even a cold weather? Like, I mean, we say Canadian and we assume that it's cold, but there's lots of places in the States and over in Europe that have equal, if not worse, weather than us. I think here in Southern Ontario, we're a little spoiled with the weather we do get when we do get it.
I think, okay, let's touch on range real quick, because I think this is the biggest one, at least for me. In the winter, I don't really experience range issues because I'm going less than the 500 kilometers that my car has, right?
Yeah.
However, I'm still forced to charge it every day, or at least I do to be on the safe side. With the Cybertruck, at least the tri-motor, having 800 kilometers on a single charge, that's a lot more. So even if you're have 500 today, adding an extra 300 is a substantial difference. So even if you lose, the same 20 to 30% that you're losing today, you're losing it on a much higher number. So that alone should offset quite a bit. What else is on here? The steel. So the outer shell. I don't know. I feel like that's gonna. Like, I'm not a scientist by any means, but wouldn't that be like
You're
exponentially colder? Computer science, different type of science.
Because it's cold rolled steel.
Yeah.
No, but
you mean the steel getting cold?
yeah. Wouldn't the steel get colder? Like, what, Dax? I had enough.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's going to be. I don't think the winter is going to affect it at all in durability. Is that where we're going with that? With the
No. Just to touch your door handles, I guess. Like, the side of your car gets pretty cold now, but wouldn't it even be colder with metal?
I think I know what you're talking about, Franklin. I got it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Don't put your tongue on the.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yes.
What's your take on it, Moss?
Well, the Cybertruck, I think, is going to be the latest and greatest from Tesla. I think the first thing in the winter that we have here, my big problem is the windows. You know how they come down that half inch before the door opens.
Yep.
So I don't remember. Has anyone seen how the doors open? Is it a frameless door? Yes.
It's good. All their cars have been frameless, so I'm only.
Right.
You know what? I should go back on one of my videos to see if it was.
I mean,
frameless. I'm thinking
even if they are, we have the app to preheat it, so we do have that problem kind of solved. I mean, as long as you give it a good 20 minutes or so. For the battery, like Franklin's talking, the range is going to be so huge. So that drop that we get is going to be on a bigger number. But with the new chemistry and the new batteries, maybe there won't even be that much of a drop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. If battery day ever comes and we learn about this new technology, yeah.
And that's where we're going to get. Yeah. Mark is actually.
Mark, yeah. He said, I wonder if the tech will warm up faster and I'll have the snowflake icon on the lock range. I've seen that on some videos.
Yeah.
And then he said, same with the door handles that pop out like the S. The metal exterior might warm up faster.
Well, every new model they make, they learn something. Like, look what they did with the Y, with the octavalve and the heat pump. It's so similar to the 3, but it's an advancement that the 3 didn't have. So I can only imagine that the Cybertruck will have these improvements from all the stuff they learned with their other cars. Yeah, right now they might have the same door handles, and that's that may change. That's a small thing that may change. But right now they've got the same self-presenting door handles or just touch door handles like the S, and they know that in cold climates that's been plagued with some problems. Yeah, so they may fix that.
Proposed solution in terms of like at least getting regen and removing that whole snowflake icon. The Tesla car is generally pretty good at predicting range of what you have left. It does a pretty good job with that. if you can somehow go on the app and say, hey, I'm going, like I'm going home next after work, and I'm going to be leaving my work at this time, the car should know, like, it should be smart enough to say, hey, I have to start warming up exactly like 23 minutes based off the temperature to get them full regen. And then the car should be able to know, hey, actually, there's not enough energy, so I can't do that. Sorry about that. And you're going to have to go home with, like, it should be smart enough to make these decisions, right?
Yeah, it's smart enough to know when, like I was using it today, when the inside of the cabin is too hot and it has that overheat protection, right? It's smart enough to know that, and it's also smart enough to know that if you've got anything less than 20%, which a lot of the features limit out at 20%, it knows not to use that feature or kick that feature in. It's funny, like Moss was saying, that we've got the beauty with our cars, we can preheat it or cool them down. Like here in Southern Ontario for the last couple of days, we've had a humid last few days where it's been upwards of the mid to high 30s with the humidex. When I say 30s, I mean Celsius. And it's been really, really hot. And it was funny, I was leaving work today, and I had preheated my car. Sorry, pre-cooled my car.
Cool.
Yeah. So I get in my car, and I'm just getting stuff on the radio and everything, and I watch this other person get in their car. They start their car. It's an ice car, obviously. They start their car, and they run out of the car, and they stand underneath a tree for shade for like a couple minutes while their car gets cold.
Oh yeah, probably cool. 130 in there.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, I felt bad. I didn't want to call him an idiot, but I'm thinking to myself, because I don't want to be looked at as like a Tesla snob, but I'm thinking this could so easily be solved. And I'm thinking this to the other manufacturers, not to the individual that buys the car, obviously. Like the other car manufacturers, like, I mean, get up with technology, get on board with what's going on.
On the reverse experience, you know how much fun it is going out in the middle of winter where I like start preheating my car like an hour before, and everyone goes out to like piles of snow in their car, and then there's mine like
exactly
nothing. Yeah, because it's just all heated off and melted away, right? It's such a great feeling to walk out, and it's like looking at all these people having to clear off their car. Meanwhile, mine's like ready to drive, and it's like, all right, see you later.
Yeah, my wife yelled at me. She didn't yell at me. I should be careful how.
This is recorded, Dax.
Yeah, my wife commented to me this past winter that I don't wear a winter coat anymore when we go out. I'm like, I don't need to. I'm going from a warm house into a warm car into a warm wherever. I mean, just from maybe the parking lot to wherever I'm going is the only part that I may need a coat. So, like, why would I need a coat, right? And it's the habit in the last 2 winters that I've acquired, and I don't mind. I don't care to have that. I mean, I don't care that I actually have that habit because it's a good habit to have.
Yeah. Well, I've never worn a winter coat, and I don't think any point in my life. So.
Yeah. Are you one of those guys that wears shorts in the winter?
Okay, so truthfully, I could, but I feel like people think those people are like crazy, so I try to wear long pants. But I wear t-shirts all year round, like t-shirts and sweaters. I'll wear a sweater when it's like minus 30 out, and I'm fine. Especially now because you're going inside a car. I mean, it's like you said, right? Go ahead, Moss. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was just going to say I used to wear shorts. I was, I used to work for Canada Post. I used to deliver mail in the winter, and I had the winter coat with the shorts on a couple times. So.
I commend you for doing that, buddy. That's a hard job.
Was it wearing the shorts or working at Canada Post?
No, I have some friends that are posties and delivery guys, and it's tough in all extreme weather, right?
Yeah, great exercise though.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. So we sort of got off topic. Getting back to Mark's question about the Cybertruck, like I said, in a nutshell, to wrap things up, and you guys can throw in your final thoughts too if you like. Like I think with everything coming down the pipe, or pike, or whatever, however they say it, with the technology and stuff, I don't think we'll have any problem with the Cybertruck in the little issues that we have on the cars today. My biggest thing, like Franklin was saying, I would love to get that tri-motor. It's just I think it's a little out of my price budget right now. I think I'm gonna have to settle with just the dual motor. But yeah, I would love 800 kilometers. That would be just I can't imagine. I mean, 500 is enough for me. Just having those 3 extra 100 kilometers, the 300 extra kilometers, that would be great. But my biggest thing with the whole battery chemistry and everything, or technology in the battery management system, is I want to know, and it's a selfish thing, and I've been wondering this for a while out loud, is what they're going to do with the towing. Like how much, I mean, I get it. Physics are physics and stuff like that. You can't cheat that or avoid that or beat that. But if we know Tesla and how, clever they are, they're going to find some way, I'm hoping they find some way that when you start towing something at its towing capacity or close to it, that your battery's not going to get knocked in half. Yeah, hammered like huge. So I'm hoping, I'm not hoping for like miracles, but I'm hoping it's going to be better than half. Somewhere, if it could be somewhere between best case scenario and worst case scenario, I'll be happy.
I think that's going to come with the chemistry.
Yeah, I'm hoping it does.
All these all these questions we got will be answered. But I think the new chemistry that's coming on Battery Day, we'll get that then.
Exciting. Franklin, any final thoughts on Mark's question before we wrap this puppy up and put her to bed?
No, I think we did a good job covering it. I don't know. I think a lot of these questions.
Thanks, Chef. It's pipe. Sorry.
I think with these questions, I think we'll get more definitive answers as we get closer, right?
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, I'm super, super excited to get one. I'm thinking of getting my third pre-order on one for the all-wheel drive to see which one I can get first. Because I have a standard and I have a tri-motor right now on order.
You're going to go for the trifecta?
So, I don't want to take delivery of all three. I'm just saying whichever one they can deliver to me first is the one I want.
Yeah, I know. I don't blame you, buddy. I don't blame you.
It'll be the tri, probably.
I want it to be the tri, truthfully. But who knows, right? When it comes to Tesla. So that's my final thoughts. I'm super, super excited.
Yes, this has been other than the SpaceX stuff and talking about Moss's stuff, this has been pretty much a Cybertruck dominated episode, which is fine. I mean, we had last few episodes were when the Model Y was out, we dominated that with Model Y discussions and news and stuff like that. So, as things go on, maybe next week it'll be all SpaceX news.
Well,
I'll have to get an expert on for that, though.
Remember when we were doing the Y and I said, hey, I'm kind of getting tired of all the Y news week after week?
Yeah.
The Cybertruck I will never get tired of. Like, I can't wait for it to come out. Like, more news the better, right?
Yeah.
It's such a fascinating vehicle, so.
It will be.
Yeah.
And let me just throw in one thing. I still think every time I see it, and when I saw the Jay Leno and Elon clip, doesn't it still look CGI?
Yeah.
It still looks fake when it's driving on the road.
And you mean the real thing, not what's behind Franklin.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. It still catches me off guard, but in a good way. Not as an, oh my God, like my wife looks at it and says, oh my God, she throws up in her mouth a little bit. But for me, it's like, it's a good kind of, oh my God, right? So,
sure is.
Yeah, no.
Can't wait
either. So, let's wrap this up, guys. Thanks very much for coming on to the show. We'll start with our special guest, first of all. We'll give him a special courtesy. Where can people find you, Moss, if people want to get in touch with you for some work or just if they just want to chat with you? Where can they find you?
If you're not following me already, you should for all Tesla news. No, I'm only kidding. You can follow me on Twitter at Covello Massimo. Or I started a new one for all the stuff that I'm doing in my quote-unquote garage at Garage Moss. Dax, I do want to apologize for one thing tonight. I just noticed that the light above my bald head has this glare, so I hope it hasn't affected your podcast tonight. But I just noticed this glare.
Oh, now we can never unsee this. Scratch this. Let's start over.
Man.
Okay, end broadcast. Let's start over.
So, I apologize to everybody who's watching your podcast.
Mark said the quality looks amazing. Moss, don't worry, you're good.
The quality of the shine on my head with that?
No. I think he was talking about the inside of the Cybertruck, but that's not important. He said the quality looks amazing. You got to take things out of context, and it's fine. Like, we're good.
Just sculpt it the way you want it.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Mark.
Franklin, where
But
can
no,
people find you? Sorry. Before we
No,
go.
I was just gonna say thanks for having me tonight, Dak.
Oh, buddy, thank you for being on the show. You don't have to thank me at all. Anytime.
On Twitter, M Frunker. On YouTube, Mother Frunker. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep, he's a guy that's always on every platform. You're not on Instagram, are you?
I have an Instagram.
Oh, because it's that whole Facebook thing. Never mind.
No, I actually have an Instagram. You can follow it on, I think it's Mother Frunker or M Frunker, one of the two.
Are you active in it though?
I used to post photos, but then I found like I wasn't getting a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
Like I was on Twitter, and I don't know. I kind of like human interaction. That's kind of why I post. I'm not saying like I want like thousands of people like my stuff, but like I met you guys and made good friends. Where I found on Instagram, I can't have that same personalized interaction, right? It's more so people like scanning through photos and just liking them. They don't really care. I hear you. Anyway.
And before you ask, I'm going to tell you, or not before you ask, before you start saying, I'm going to tell everyone you can find me on YouTube, just where you're watching it now, if you're watching this live at Daxam. Or you can find me at Tesla Talks, speaking of Instagram. I'm on there, but just like Franklin, I don't post much. You can find me more on Twitter at Tesla Talks on Twitter. And that wraps up. And you know what? Just like we said, guys, at the beginning of the show, when there's not a lot of news, these are the episodes that turn into sometimes the best episodes and the most interactive and conversational episodes. And this was no different tonight. 1 hour and 31 minutes. We actually did it with, like I said, very little news. But it's a big thanks to you guys because, like I said, I couldn't do this without by myself. It would be boring for me and for all these guys listening down in the chat. So thanks for coming on. We will do this next week, folks. Probably next Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday today? Am I the only one that loses track of days now with this whole pandemic?
No.
Oh, no. Jesus. Yeah, so it's Tuesday. So we'll try to be on next Tuesday or Wednesday again around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier. Just stay tuned to Twitter or YouTube, and you'll see when our next episode is on. Thanks for watching, folks. Take care. We will see you later. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao, Franklin.